Hello and welcome all to the fourth part of the series on self-exploration, in continuation with the fresh germ that we are discussing, anti-war. A little abstract idea of anti-war, of doing the not doing or not doing the doing. Let us try to elaborate with a few instances. The line between rigidity and flexibility is very thin. Rigidity on a positive note may be called as determination. Flexibility on a further negative note may be called as falling loose. So is it rigidity or determination? Or is it flexibility or falling loose? What is right? What is wrong? When to be what? When to be what? Stands a question posed for most of us. So many real life incidences crowd in my mind when I start thinking on this line. Incidences where it is difficult to analyze whether it is correct to be hard on decisions or to be flexible. What is winning and what is losing? Let me just quote a few incidences. All these people are just around me, but I am not revealing their identities to safeguard their space and their privacy. The first incidence of Mr. A, an ex-Air Force officer. He stopped taking tea, coffee, along with tobacco and alcohol, suddenly on his 68th birthday with one decision that he made overnight. He remained extremely staunch without a drop of tea, coffee or alcohol, or without even one cigarette after that. Great determination indeed. When he was around 67 or 68 years old, he met with a major accident. Through extreme pain and trauma, when he was shifted to a room, he was offered a cup of tea. He instantaneously said yes to it because he direly needed it. And in a fraction of a second, he asserted, "No, I have stopped taking it." He says that was the acid test and he has passed it. If I could say no to a cup of tea in that state of trauma, I would probably never want a cup of tea in my life. Thinking the other way round, if he had been a little lenient just once to his dear system that had taken so much trauma and treated his system like his own baby, and given it a cup of tea, and then never had it again once back to routine, would he have lost or won in the real sense? Look at it like this. At one point, we eat a mango irresistibly. We can't stop ourselves from eating a mango. Then we leave eating mango as a self-control. And then we eat it someday when there's nothing else available, but without the earlier irresistibility. Is that the real win, without ego or rigidity? We need to think on it. Second incidence of one Mrs. B, who consumed onion garlic for the whole of her life and enjoyed it to quite an extent. At the age of 66, she joined a spiritual group. And as per the norms of the spiritual group, she gave up on onion, garlic, and any outside food one sudden day. It's almost 20 plus years now. She has not consumed a bit of onion, garlic, or she has not eaten any outside food out of lust. She adjusts to the routines of her family, enjoys with them, and manages her food efficiently. She goes on outings, she goes for family functions, but she always carries her food with her. But there have been times when the situation gave a call and there was no availability of home food. She ate outside food that suited her norms in such conditions without being fussy. That was one part of the victory. The other part of the victory is that when she comes back to her normal life, she never gets tempted to eat it now. That okay, I have eaten it once, so what difference now if I eat it once again? No. She will never get tempted otherwise, or she will never fall to anyone's request or force for eating outside when she has her options. Is that the real win? To stand by your principles, but to show the desired amount of flexibility when it calls for it without feeling the guilt that I have given up on my values or I have given up on my decision. She had also given up on tea, coffee, and did not have it for about 30 to 35 years of her life. Later on, for some reasons, she started having it and she has regularly tea, coffee and enjoys that. So has she lost? When she did not have tea, coffee for 35 years and now she is having tea, coffee, has she lost? Or has she proven her determination enough and take it easy for such simple things at this age and stage of her life? Worth a thought. The third incident, a soft-hearted, efficient woman faced difficulties in her marital life. She was spiritually groomed right from her childhood and preached that peace lies within us and external circumstances should not change our internal peace. She wanted to live this principle and she wanted to exemplify the same. And thus she never wanted to rebel or take her external situation to the heart. And that was on a very raised platform of understanding. That was not cowardice. That was the opportunity she had taken to raise herself. And the way she was getting her grooming or the growth in her spiritual path, her peripheries wouldn't have really affected her internal growth. And that's what was mattered to her in the end. And she was praying for the strength to carry on with her situation to accomplish that. It was indeed a noble wish, and it would have turned to be a great example if materialized. But one day she broke. She could not fight her family situations. Her patience got over and she moved on. Ironically, her life after that was with a line of silver. She lived the best years of her personal life after that, for which she carries extreme gratitude in her heart. Now the question is, was this phase in her life she lived after she had to move on was a reward of finishing her quota of misery without a complaint? Or she fell short in capacity to her dream wish of not letting external circumstances affect her internal being. So has she won or has she lost? What is expected to be as the real growth? To be able to keep up our righteous bearing till the end, or to reach the breaking point, and that is where you drop your armor, you drop your ego that I cannot fight or I am no one to fight, and the real growth starts over there. Not so easy to decode. Or is she past her test of adversity? That yes, she has taken the adversity in the correct stride, and now she is put in for a harder test, the test of favorability. Sometimes it is difficult to pass through a favorable situation because it is a very slippery floor than to face adversity. So is she in a bigger challenge now? Very difficult to decode. One more such incident. Mr. X, a simpleton, an achiever, a bachelor, and he staunchly follows a minimalistic lifestyle. He has all the affluence for an elite living, but he chooses to live with minimum gadgets. No TV, no fridge, no microwave, no luxury car. Simplest, happiest, monk-like life in a routine environment with least requirements. At one stage, circumstances called and he furnished his house with all the gadgets. It was just a matter of decision, and now he has all the basic gadgets that we need in a house. He uses all those gadgets with a discrimination, enjoys the privilege of it, and avoids the misuse. He, of course, continues with his perfect lifestyle as ever. The question is, what would have set a better example? If he would have been able to live with his hermit-like lifestyle always? Or the flexibility that he has shown to circumstances, used modern technology that is easily available at the doorstep, and continues with his core values of life? Or is this privilege a small reward given to him for all his years of simplicity? You've proven yourselves enough, now it's time to enjoy. Take life easy, says life to him as a point. Like after a healthy, nutritious meal, mom pushes a chocolate in her hand, which is a perk for having eaten well. Difficult and dicey to know the thin line between rigidity or determination and flexibility or falling loose. We will continue with this discussion. Thank you for joining me. Stay tuned.